Welcome back. The next witness is Keith Gruen, and he is the owner of meetmindful.com. It's the dating site that the defendant used. Let's go in.
Did you, in fact, find responsive records?
I did.
Okay, and do you remember the name and email?
It was Danielle Redlick, and it was ddrohan at, I believe, yahoo.com.
All right. Your Honor, at this time, the state would seek to publish what's been marked as States 44 for identification purposes.
Okay, you can publish that.
Okay. And were you ultimately the person that was responsible for culling all of these records, going into all the various database sets and producing a record of everything that was there associated with this particular user?
I did, sir.
And you're familiar with the contents of these specific records and how to interpret them?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's start to talk about what we can learn from these particular records. Looking at page 3 of 62, let's just start at the top. Is there a unique identifier number associated with this particular account?
That ID number is the unique identifier associated with this account.
Would you see that number associated with certain portions of this record rather than maybe a name or a key name?
The name is tied to the ID number, and everything else within our system is attributed to that ID.
All right, so what is the name associated with this particular account?
That would be Danielle. There is no last name listed, but the username is Dan Drohan.
And the email address?
And email as dandrohan@yahoo.com.
Okay. How is it that this information is obtained when a person like Mr. Redlick signs up for your website?
So they would land on a landing page on our website and then either connect through email or via Facebook. In this case, the sign-up method was email because we do not have a last name present.
Would the user be sort of faced with a number of basic information gathering questions at the stage of the sign-up?
Yes.
And do we see some of the responses to those sort of basic information gathering questions within this data set?
We do in further pages.
Okay, so what about this? What's this?
That is their current relationship status. So whether or not the user that signs up is single, separated, married, divorced, etc.
So does this indicate that when Ms. Redlick signed up for it, she indicated that she was separated?
It appears so.
I want to go to the created at line. What are you able to determine from this particular entry?
That is the UTC timestamp in the database for when the actual user ID was created. So it's essentially the start of the user creation.
So this is sort of the beginning of the user account on the Meet Mindful website?
Correct.
Would you tell the jury what it is they're looking at in this particular data set, page 7 of 62, user details table record?
Yes, so when a user signs up, they fill out a basic profile and then we begin collecting activity about their activity on the site or the app. And this data it describes a number of things, including the total number of profiles that the user favorited or hid or sent messages, received messages, other activity like that.
So sort of like a running tally of certain activities that the user's engaging in while employing and moving around the website.
That's correct.
So for instance, user messages sent, user messages received, that's a tally of how many they sent, how many they received.
Exactly.
And can you explain to the jury what we see in the Meet Mindful database profile question responses?
Yes, so as we just spoke about, when the user signs up for an account, they fill out a profile, and this is the data that was entered in for a number of various questions, like what they practice in terms of their mindfulness, if they're a volunteer, what that might look like, et cetera.
So we'll see some very specific sort of like meet mindful type questions for people who are interested in this type of lifestyle.
Correct. Yep.
For instance, you know, their yoga habits or their spirituality.
Correct. So this would indicate that the user does yoga on Monday and Wednesday evenings, and that's a little bit more detail that they would have given.
Okay. Maybe some more traditional type queries. Under this looking for box, can you please read what the person who signed up for this account wrote?
Sure. Looking for down-to-earth, kind of deep would be interesting, passionate, zest for life type guy with sense of humor to spend time with and hopefully shares same definition on love. Also not going to lie, love the whole Romeo Juliet fairy tale, but I keep it real. I think having a real, meaningful, and strong connection is what appeals to me.
And we're going to look at the bottom of page 14, this bottom box. Can you please explain to the jury what they see here?
So this data point, when someone signs up for a profile, they can select which relationship type they are interested in. And this user selected dating, friendship, and long-term relationship as options.
Now, how would these photos end up in your particular database?
As a part of account creation, the user would have a chance to upload several photos representing themselves.
And are these photos that the person who was maintaining and using this account uploaded to associate with their dating profile?
Yes.
Page 18 of 62, another example of a photo that the user of the account uploaded to their dating profile,
You're correct.
and more.
All of these photos.
Okay. Meet mindful user messages. What is this data set?
This is a compilation of all of the draft and sent messages that a user created in a conversation that we exported for this data, or for this evidence.
Okay. So you're going to see both sides of certain conversations.
Correct.
So would this be an example of, let's see here, this 9372030, an outgoing message of the user of the account, sending it to a person who's being referred to as Mark?
That's correct.
Would you please read what the user of this account wrote to Mark?
21 or 30.
This one.
Hey, Mark, I ended up not going to Disney Springs, but I'm leaving it on the list. The weekend got a little off track with the unexpected, however, all good. Sometimes you just have to go with what life puts in front of you. Actually, that's technically called surrendering to life, which is probably something I should practice all the time. Sorry, not preach my mindfulness, LOL.
Continuing on.
So when do you leave for Buffalo? I'm jealous. You may see snow. If you happen to be captivated and want to share a pic or two, feel free.
So let's turn to the last page of the records, page 62. What's the jury going to see in this data set as we sort of start at the beginning and work our way towards the end?
So this record comes from a program called Mixpanel, which tracks all user behavior across our application. So what you'll see is from the beginning, when the user viewed the homepage, tried to connect with Facebook, and then created their account, and then all of the subsequent user interactions, clicking on buttons, viewing pages, viewing profiles, etc.
So basically, everything the user does, we have kind of a tick-tock of that activity.
Correct.
So we're looking at Wednesday, December 5th, 2018. Do you see, based off your knowledge of how the database works, how the signups work, and sort of the sequence of events that's consistent with someone coming onto your website for the first time?
Several edited profiles here, and we would go in time from the bottom to the top. So they're clicking through the onboarding tour. That's the fourth step in the onboarding, which is how we let folks know how to use the app and what to expect. You can see several photo uploads that were referenced just prior to this. Setting new primary photos, deleting photos, editing profile, and then we can start to see editing mindfulness profile details. So this user is actively filling out their account and preparing to be on our website.
And if we were to sort of make our way through time, would you see every day the website is interacting with and everything that was done on the website on that particular day?
Yes.
Okay, so let's jump ahead in time a bit. And kind of talk about what these entries tell you about how the user of this account was interacting with the website at the time.
So normal use would be folks viewing profiles and then either liking or hiding profiles as they move through, which we can see at the bottom of that.
Okay.
They also received favorites, which sent notifications to them to bring them back into the app. Favorites are likes, essentially.
So when we see something like viewed a profile, that's the user activity of this account viewing a profile.
Right, this user has viewed another profile on Be Mindful.
But we see was viewed, that's someone else interacting with this user's account.
Correct.
And so we're seeing activity on Ms. Redlick's account all through December 8th of 2019.
Correct.
Hiding a user, viewing a profile, so on and so forth.
Yep. Yes.
We'll move forward in time.
Jury is looking at Danielle Redlick's dating website history. This was 2018. We know that they were separated at this time, so she was on a dating website. More testimony right after this. Welcome back. Prosecutors say that Danielle Redlick, after stabbing her husband, but before calling 911, went to her dating website, meetmindful.com. The owner of that website's on the stand, and they're talking about now those dates in question.
So this is evidence that the user of this particular dating website on January 12th, 2019, interacted with your dating website.
That's correct.
And specifically, what time?
5:22 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, the application was opened. The user then viewed their conversations page. It looks like the app was closed and opened several times. That could be a refresh. And then the data continues.
Okay. So adjust that for this jury. Tell this jury what time the user of this particular dating website was interacting with your website.
It would be 2 hours later, which I believe is around 8:27 or 22.
Well, 5 plus 2.
5 plus 2 is 7.
There we go.
So 7 a.m.
So 7:22 a.m., the user is on your dating website.
That's correct.
I have no further questions to this witness.
Ms. Conlon?
Okay, that's direct.
Before you start, can you and Mr. Wiggins come up right quick?
Okay, before cross, a right quick sidebar. Greg Isaacs, all right, there's the proof that the prosecution talked about in the openings, that husband's been stabbed, 911 hasn't been called, and she's on the dating website. Your thoughts?
Ted, central to every homicide case is the mens rea or mental state of the accused. And in this case, as her husband lay bleeding out in the kitchen, she is on a dating website. Obviously very problematic for the defense as they're trying to put forth a self-defense case. But on the other hand, her behavior is so bizarre. If I was defending this defendant, is her behavior such that it goes to show that she was having a mental issue, that she could not control her conduct to the requirements of the law at the time, but really very powerful and very surreal as she had just stabbed her husband jumping on the dating website.
Yeah, we'll have to see what her explanation is if and when she takes the stand. Let's go in for cross-examination. Sidebar's broken up.
I want to talk to you about January 11th, 2019. It looks like the last user activity was 3:24 Eastern Standard Time. Is that right?
That's correct.
And then let's move on to Saturday, January 12th. So for January 12th, we have 2 activities for around the 7:22. Is that right?
That's correct.
We have, it says 5:22, but it's 7:22 Eastern Standard Time. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, and so this was a general viewed conversations.
Yes.
It was not the other one that was, that you mentioned, view a conversation.
Correct.
Have you had an opportunity to review what was just submitted into evidence?
These documents?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The last message that Ms. Redlick received was before January 11th, 2019. The last message that she had received was on January 8th. Is that right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And the last message that she had sent prior to January 11th was that Tuesday, the Tuesday before. Is that right?
If that lines up with the dates in this doc, yes.
Would it help if I...
That'd be great if you wouldn't mind.
May I approach the witness?
Yes, ma'am.
The user sent occurred at 1/8/19, 3:45 p.m.
What was the time?
3:45 p.m., and that's in UTC. So it would have been in the evening of the 8th.
Got it. So she was not sending or receiving any messages on January 11th or January 12th. Is that right?
Correct.
Nothing further.